10:34 on TSN 690. Welcome back to GamePoints. I am your host, Matthew Ross. We're here until 1 a.m. this evening. Back on Sunday, 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., just after NBA playoff action, just ahead of ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. So it should be a great show on Sunday as well. Still to come this hour, we'll chat with our buddy Dwight Walton, talking some NBA with him. But right now, we're going to talk some baseball. And who better to do it with than our next guest? He is a baseball analyst for RDS. You can follow him on twitter.com/Marc Griffin RDS. He also does some work with Baseball Quebec as well. It is Marc Griffin. Hey, Marc, how you doing?
How are you, Matthew?
I'm very well, thanks. Good to have you on the program. It's been a while, so appreciate your time. Now, Marc, obviously, we'll talk some MLB momentarily, but I did want to ask you, next month, it's been released now, a few days now, that there will be a preseason game for the Quebec Capitales against Trois-Rivières on May 11th at the Huntsic Stadium, or Huntsic Park. Your thoughts on the Can-Am League coming here? First professional baseball in the city since 2004.
Well, I wouldn't make it a big deal as far as, a first professional game, but it is, I guess so. But, the goal on this is really to promote baseball. Any kind of baseball that's played around here, I think is a good thing. And to have this type of caliber shown to Montrealers, maybe, a lot of Montrealers haven't seen the Can-Am League caliber, or they think that it's minor league and that the players are not that good. Here's a chance for you to just go and see what it is, and see that there's some good baseball players around, and that we have two good teams in the province of Quebec now that has professional baseball. So I think it's a great day for baseball, and hopefully it's the first of many.
Now, the Capitale have won the Can-Am League title 4 straight years, and I think it's 5 out of 7 or 5 out of 8, something like that. Why are they so successful versus some of the other teams?
It's the city. It's the organization. People, guys who play ball in the independent league, they want to play in Quebec City. It's a great organization. Michel Laplante has done a great job over there in the last few years. The coaching staff is really open-minded, so players want to play there, and that's all it is. And it's when you have a good organization behind it, players, the word gets around, and players who are either released or they need another chance in baseball, they actually call. So the phone is ringing actually in Quebec City, and more instead of trying to scout some guys around. So it's great news, and what I like about it is that people that are in Trois-Rivières now are the ones, they were around the Capitales, so they know how it works, and I think Trois-Rivières is going to build another great franchise over there, and it's just all good for the baseball in the province.
I've seen the stadium up in Quebec City. I was there a couple of years ago for a charity event with Moises Alou and Pedro Martinez and some of those guys. I haven't seen the stadium in Trois-Rivières. What's it like? Because obviously the stadium in Quebec City is phenomenal. It's got a lot of history. The grass and in the stands and everything's in great shape. There's a nice sort of wall of fame as well inside for people to check out. What's the stadium looking like in Trois-Rivières?
It's very similar. They were built pretty much in the same time for the same reason, obviously, in the Eastern League back then, and I'm glad that a few years back, I guess it's 4 or 5 years now, they put a lot of money into it, and it's beautiful. I tell you what, if you think Quebec City is a little far from Montreal, just hop in your car for an hour and get to Trois-Rivières. It's the same type of stadium, beautiful area over there. And I think it's going to be a good success, and the rivalry that's going to be created by those two cities, those two franchises now. It's all for kids, to go and see some professional baseball. And it's not Quebec now has baseball, amateur baseball is growing up in the province, but the Quebec City area is the most populated as far as youngsters playing ball. And the reason is, the presence of the Capitale, and I hope, and I'm pretty sure it's going to do the same thing with the Three Rivers franchise.
Chatting with Marc Griffin of LDS and Baseball Quebec, and we're talking about, obviously, the May 11th preseason game, Can-Am League Quebec Capitales against the team from Trois-Rivières. And Marc, what do you expect the reaction to be like here for that game. It's going to be played at Park Ahuntsic. I know the first day they had over 200 tickets sold, so I expect it to be a sellout at that point and to be full. But do you expect it to be a good crowd?
I think so. I think people are going to be curious to see, and again, it's baseball. It's outside, and hopefully the weather is going to cooperate there. But I think people want to see what it's like, and I know they've put some money into the Ahuntsic Park over there. It's a nice park now. It's a nice area to go watch a ball game. I think it's going to create a little buzz over there. And again, I know a lot of people in Montreal, they think, we had the Expos and it's a Major League Baseball town. And I agree, and I totally agree about that. But I think this is truly some professional players. It's professional baseball. It's people that, guys that played in AAA, AA, A-ball. They want another chance. It's really good. Sometimes in baseball, the difference between a minor leaguer and a major leaguer is not that much. The major leaguer does it constantly. He does it throughout a 162-game schedule. Maybe the minor league guy maybe has much talent but can't do it on a regular basis. But once in a while, they can pick up the ball. They can hit the ball. Eric Gagné, when he spent the whole year in Quebec City, had an ERA over 5. I mean, here's the guy who won the Cy Young. He didn't throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball anymore, but still, he was a good pitcher, was a major league pitcher. It's not an easy game to play, and if you're good enough to play professionally, I think people will be surprised about the caliber and how good these guys really are.
You mentioned that there's more Quebec amateurs playing baseball now. What do you attribute that to in the last few years?
There's a few reasons. Obviously, when the Expos were around the last 3 years, all the negativity around the team and the franchise moving obviously was a big hurt quite a bit the amateur baseball. But now the youngsters are back on the field. They didn't know about the Expos. They just want to play ball. There's a new program now called Rally Cap for youngsters between. Now they're 4 years old, but from 4 to 7 year old, it's a great program. It helps kids learn the game, but play around the field and not playing left field and wait for the ball for the whole for 2 hours. There's some great programs. I think the coaching, the teaching of coaching is much better now. So we have a lot of people that know about the game, know about the mechanics of the game, and all of a sudden the kids are coming back and they're good enough to play and to move on into the game. So there's a lot of reasons, but I'm so glad to see that baseball is really back as far as the youngsters and the amateur fields are filling up, and hopefully the weather's going to cooperate in the next few weeks so that we can play outside soon.
You mentioned that age group. I have a daughter who's 4.5. She'll be playing NDG baseball. I'll be the coach of her novice team, so I'm looking forward to doing that. My first sort of foray with one of my own kids. I know you're I think a dad as well, right? So it's something special about coaching kids, right?
Well, I think baseball provides that. There's not too many sports where you can actually, as a father, bring your gloves at the park with your kids playing ball at a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old and enjoy an hour and a half with him or her on the baseball field. So it's great. We ask parents at that age that they have kids, bring your gloves, come with us on the field, learn the game with your kid. So when we teach the kids, the parents listen, and obviously when the parents go on the park and during the week and wants to play catch, where he can teach the kid because he learned what we said on the field. So it's a great sport for that. It's a great time with your kids on the field, and obviously in the summer it's a beautiful time.
He is Marc Griffin. You can see him on RDS.ca to check out his baseball writings. And obviously, RDS covers the Can-Am League quite well, and certainly Major League Baseball as well. When's your next telecast?
Actually, tomorrow night, we do the Phillies and the Reds. We actually did the game last night also, so it's fun. It's fun to do to broadcast many different teams. It's a chance for us to see all pretty much all the players and the teams. It's obviously it's the best job in the world.
Yeah, I would think so. Thanks so much, Marc. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it.
All right, there you go. That's Marc Griffin from LDS.